that might be your season to rise in the 10?
Yeah, I mean,
Cool.
it felt like just the way we've been playing, like the game against LIU, that we were going to do it. But it got to a point where innings started going by, and we're like, all right, it's going to happen next inning. Oh, it's going to happen next inning. And then it got to a point where it's later in the game, and it's like, all right, now it has to happen. So I would say it was a swing of emotions. We were confident the whole game. I didn't feel anyone being tense really the whole game. It got to our last opportunity, and we were like, okay, well, now it's now or never. So I would say there was a little bit of swing of emotions, but we were confident. Like I said, we've been in that situation before, so that helps.
Casey, when you see that nearly 1 million people tuned in on TV to watch you guys in LSU on Monday, the most of any regional game on ESPN ever, I mean, what does that make you feel?
I mean, that's unbelievable. It's not something you think about when you're in the game. You're so locked in, so even all the fans, I mean, you hear how loud the Bosch gets, but obviously you're focused on the game, so you're not really thinking about it. But after the game, hearing that, it's like, wow. I mean, that's really why you play. You play to play in games like that with that many people watching. So that was unbelievable when I heard that news.
Casey, have you and any of the hitters done any specific prep looking forward to Derek Clark?
Yeah, I would say we've done some work tailored to him, but he's nothing we haven't seen before. You know, we've seen lefties that have pitch ability before, so I'd say the work's nothing new. It's stuff we've done before, but yeah, we definitely prepare for him.
Is
anybody in the ACC?
Yeah, I think so. Any ACC pitcher you faced who he reminds you of?
I couldn't pull out a name, but he's like a Shea Sprague, honestly. We faced him in the fall, so we talked about that with Coach Rusbicki. It's a similar profile to Shea. He mixes well. The velocity is around the same, so we can go back to remember at bats against Shea Sprague, and that probably resonates the best with us because we faced him a good amount of times in the preseason and fall. So I would say that's probably the only name I could pull, and it's kind of funny that he's on our team.
What's your approach going to be like at the plate against a guy like him?
He's just a guy you can't really cheat to fastball. He doesn't throw hard enough to really blow by you, so that makes it a little bit easier. But those guys are tough to hit because they mix really well. So I would say just almost pushing the ball back, making decisions a little bit later, and because the second you try to catch ball in front and hit homers, pull balls, you start throwing changeups and sliders, and you swing over top of them. So I'd say it's almost doing less against a guy like that will help you be more successful.
Casey, on Sprague, what is it about his makeup that gives you confidence in him in these huge postseason starts that he's had? Chase Burns in Charlotte, Holman last weekend. Like, what is it about him that gives you the confidence?
I mean, it's just time after time he goes out there and competes, and I mean, you can see the first time he gets thrown in there, he battles and he competes, and that's tough to do. When we go through an injury and we need someone to step up and do that, and he did that, and then he continued to do that throughout the year. And if you just look back on all his starts, he gives us a good 5 to 6 every single time, and that gives us a lot of confidence as hitters when you have a guy rolling out there that even if he doesn't have his stuff, he's going to give you 5 to 6. So it takes a lot of pressure off us, and at this point of the year, it's good to know you have someone with a track record like that, because you at least know they'll give you a shot, and if they do have their stuff, then they might give you a really good shot.
Yeah.
Casey, you were talking about going through that game on Monday and how you guys have been in that position before. It's still obviously a pretty emotional moment. And then what's the process from flipping the page from that moment to what you guys are getting ready for this weekend?
Yeah. It was when the final out was made, it was exciting. It was a relief because we got through that regional where, I've never been in a more stressful regional in terms of every single game. We never had a secure lead, but it's so much more gratifying to win those games after they're done. And I would say it is over now. So as fun as that was, and as happy as we are to win that, it doesn't really mean anything to us going forward. We can pull some confidence out of it, knowing that we've been there before. Right. And like I just heard Coach saying, or he actually told us earlier, it helps to go through games like that because you can always go back to them. So you say, this isn't new to us, we've been here before. So I would say for the most part, it's over. You want to forget about it because you're focused on the next game, but at the same time, it's like, okay, we know we've been here before and been here multiple times in high leverage situations. So I would say our focus is on the next game, but it is there for us if we need it for a sense of confidence.
Does that make you appreciate where you guys are right now because of how hard it was to get to this point?
Yeah, for sure. I was talking to some of the guys that went through it against when they beat VCU twice, and it was, nothing against VCU, but they had to play Arkansas next. So it was almost like those two games. I don't think I remember them being close. I think they said they were both blowouts, and they had to turn around and go play Arkansas in a super regional. So not that they weren't prepared for it, but playing games like this against a good team like LSU, it's almost like, okay, like we played a team that is right up there with West Virginia, even though they're not ranked right there. So it's like, okay, this is nothing new to us. It's just another game that we've been through.
In terms of the celebration the other night after Vance catches the ball and the relief does come over you, like, what was the coolest moment about celebrating either out there on the field or back here in the clubhouse, or even, I don't know, maybe a message you got when you checked your phone? Just like, what was the coolest sort of moment of the aftermath?
Well, for me, I mean, running and meeting Vance and Anthony was, because we've done that a ton of times this year just through regular games, but that one was a little bit more special because I feel like it got to a point where we were just winning so consistently at home. It just seemed like, all right, we won. Here we go. Let's meet center field and run back in the dugout. Like, it just became normal. But that one was like, wow, that was really fun. And then I think my favorite part about the whole thing was going to see Johnny and Alex Madera and Colby after the game. Just telling them how cool that was to see them come through in that situation. And Johnny's my roommate. He's one of my best friends. So I think giving Johnny a hug after that game was one of my favorite parts of that whole thing.
Casey,
You guys have been in this position before. West Virginia hasn't. Do you think that's an advantage for you guys at all?
No. I would say they're driven too. That's a factor for them. They haven't been here before, so they want to take the even further step and go to Omaha. So I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't take them lightly at all and say that we have the upper hand in any way. But I guess you could say, me personally, I haven't been here before. Some guys have been in a super regional, so I mean, being there for a second time, maybe it's it helps a little bit just knowing you've been there. But at the same time, we all just experienced a really tough regional, so I don't think this will be any different than that. And now we're just going to treat it like we did the regional.
Casey, top of the lineup maybe didn't have the best weekend. How are you using that Nick Saban process-oriented approach going into the Super?
Yeah, we were talking about that today. Parks and I think, combined for a whopping 0 ribbies this whole week. And we said, like, we don't think our at-bats were that bad. They really weren't. We lined out a ton. We didn't have any runners in scoring position. We had a few opportunities, but I think that's a credit to our team, because if you can get it done without the top of your order coming through, then you're in a really good spot, because then when they do start coming through, you're firing on all cylinders. So I would say I don't really think that's happened the whole year, and it's honestly good to see, because Parks and I, we felt really good about our bats. We still feel confident as ever, and if we just said if we can get it done like that, we're gonna come out firing this weekend, I guess, tomorrow, and it's gonna be fun to watch.
When you're in one of those spots, do you make any changes? Because you're on an 8-game hit streak, but no RBIs since the ACC tournament.
No, I mean, that's not something you should ever, me personally, I don't like worrying about who's on base, because it shouldn't change your at-bat. It's just another at-bat, and the second you start putting pressure on yourself driving in runs, the more you're going to get tight. So what I did what I've been doing all year, just treat it like a normal at-bat, and I didn't happen to hit anyone in. So nothing's going to change, and I'm not worried about that at all.
When you see Gavin, Alex and Kobe producing like they did last week, how does that help the confidence of the top of the lineup when the bottom of the order is, producing like they were?
Yeah, it helps the time. It takes a lot of pressure. You don't feel like you have to do it all. You have trust, and we've always had trust in those guys. And the RBI numbers might not be there throughout the whole year compared to some of the other guys on our team, but that doesn't give us any less confidence at any point in the game that they can't come through. And that just, like I said, that takes a ton of pressure off the whole team, because it's a collective effort, and those are the teams that make it the furthest, because there's no dead spot in your order. Anyone can come through, and I think that was why it was so fun to see those guys come through, because that just shows everyone that anyone on our team can beat you. So, thank you.
Thanks, Casey.